Hello, what's going on YouTube? Sebastian here with Spin Driving School, and in today's video we are going to take a look at curves. Not Instagram curves, actual road curves. Couple of things. First, in most cases around curves you are going to see suggestive or recommended speed limits. I'll present a couple of signs momentarily. Other than that, be careful and make sure that you take your corners with good approach and good speed management. I generally go 10, 15, 20 kilometers over the recommended speed limit. That's just the way I drive. However, everything is dependent on the situation, weather conditions, so on and so forth, as we'll get into those examples coming up. So let's get right into it. So first thing, you have a couple of signs. These are just recommended speed limits, right? So 35 miles per hour. Then you have your curve sign. Now I'm doing this on the Princeton Highway, so bit of a different environment. 60 kilometers an hour recommended speed limit. I'm doing maybe 70 here. In this case, I'm stuck behind other vehicles, so I'm going to keep my distance. As always, the faster you go, the more distance you want to have. A lot of people are not familiar with this highway particularly. It goes from single to a double lane to situations where you can pass, where you can't pass. As you see here, we have a double yellow line. You have a bunch of slow signs, and there's going to be a lot of recommended speed limit signs. There's another 60, and the speed limits will vary from 60 to 70 to 40 kilometers per hour. It really depends on the environment. These roads are very curvy. They do have a lot of landslides and rockfall. Maybe not a lot, but it does happen. They're treacherous in the winter time, so I'm doing this in the summertime. You can see the scenery is very breathtaking and beautiful, so it's a nice drive, but I'm taking my sweet time. And again, in this case, I'm going maybe a little bit slower because I'm behind other vehicles, so I'm probably going, whatever the recommended speed limit is around these areas, from 40 to 60, let's say. And again, I'm keeping my distance. I'm very familiar with the road, thus I am going to be driving with more confidence than, let's say, the average person. So I'm going to pass some of these slower moving drivers. There you go. These curves, 80. So I'm honestly here, I'm going 100. Okay. I'm just doing 100. You'll have a lot of double yellow lines, which again means no passing. So do not pass vehicles around curves, regardless of the double yellow line. But I've never seen a situation without a double yellow line, except maybe when you're on the highway or something, like an actual freeway. So again, I'm just passing these slower moving vehicles on the left-hand side. And this will be a double lane situation for the most part. It does change back and forth depending, how far you go. You can take this highway all the way to Princeton, Penticton, Kelowna, and it does connect to Highway 1 eventually. You can go all the way to Alberta. So again, it's a beautiful, nice drive, but it can be dangerous just because of the curves in the environment and constant change in elevation up and down. So experience is key, and especially if you are familiar with the road, or in this case the Princeton Highway. There you go, back to a single lane. And there will be some curves coming up here that will be a little bit more treacherous. I've said that, used that word before, so I'll be slowing down for sure. And I'm also driving manual here, so I'm using a lot of downshifting. 40, probably going to go around 50. This one's going to be a little bit on the sharper side, and I've seen a lot of accidents in this particular corner. And then the next one is going to be a little bit sharp too. If you're going downhill, take your time. You see a lot of oncoming traffic, right? So you need to make sure that you're turning properly onto the right side of the road, the proper side of the road, right? You're maintaining a good lane position so that you're not over or under turning. And a lot of people drive slower in these conditions or in these situations because they're not familiar with the roads or they just don't have the experience, right? If it's your first time driving on this kind of highway, you're probably going to be driving slower, so keep to the right side. Let others pass. Just doing a good 100 here. Again, no problem for me. I've driven this road probably for more than 10 years, multiple times a year or so. And now we're cruising for the rest of the road. It's all double lane, so we're gonna speed things up, and that's it. So I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any other requests, as long as they're reasonable, let me know. Take care, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.